Okay. That is definitely showing my audio. Good start. Gonna have to make it go away for 1 second, but then we'll get it back. Well, what's going on, everybody? Let me work on this audio for a sec here, because this is not necessarily how I want it to be just yet, but I should be able to switch this and be back to normal. Okay, perfect. That should be what I hope is actual audio. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, Friday, January 23rd. 6-game slate ahead of us. My apologies on the audio. I be extra special dumb. Didn't look to my left. Didn't see the audio bouncing. I know why it happened. It's 100% my fault. I'm stupid. Morning, everybody. 6 games on DraftKings tonight. 1 at 7, 3 at 7:30, 2 more at 8 o'clock. Last night's slate, bit problematic. Hope you had Peyton Watson. I sure didn't. That did not go well at all. I'm even more angry about Chris Middleton from yesterday. I really liked Middleton. Had him on Prize Picks for an over. Loved him in DFS. And then we actually got more playing time from Chris Middleton than I even projected, which is dangerous. Because if I would have projected him for the amount of minutes that he ended up getting, I would have had even more. So that one did not go well. Embiid, on the other hand, went very, very well. Very similar to me to Jaylen Brown from 2 days ago. It seems like every one of these slates we have a pay up option or two that is just unowned in a way that doesn't make a ton of sense. And I think both of those rang true over the past 2 days. But Middleton did not get me where I needed to be. Joval was insane. Nurkic ended up being insane. Shout out to Eric on De'Aaron Fox. He ended up having a really nice night. Needed a little bit more out of Steph Castle, but oh well. Odd day. Hate you, Chris Middleton, even though I love you, brother. My bad. Just rooting for you. Hope I didn't jinx you. But the Embiid piece at least worked out, so I'll pat myself on the back for something. Middleton, on the other hand, not so much. Was De'Aaron Fox? Who was Eric's nuke? Was it Fox? I can't remember now. I mean, I know you guys will know. I think it was Fox. If it was, kudos. Another great nuke. If it wasn't, my bad. It was Fox. Excellent. I jinxed Middleton for you. Steven, it's even longer than that. That was pre-COVID, I believe. It was well pre-COVID. That's like 7 years ago. Where did the time go? Where did the time go? I don't know. But now we're here. I think, Steven. I'm pretty sure I said... Hold on. So that would have been like during COVID. I would have said that in like 2020, I think. That was probably the 1920 season, somewhere before the COVID stoppage. The Magic stinked. With the handle, I know somebody loves me. Maybe not. The Magic stinked. That's where we're at 9:06 a.m. Let's talk about this slate, because we got a lot of weird stuff going on for today. Bunch of injury news that we haven't yet gotten given to us quite yet. First game up. Only game locking at, you know what? I said this last time and stuff moved, so let me refresh the schedule just in case they moved any of this stuff around. I doubt they did, but they could have. You never know. Okay, they didn't. Good. Rockets, Pistons. Pistons are 3.5 point favorites at home, taking on the Rockets. Rockets are on a back-to-back, so we don't have their injury report yet. Realistically, this is probably like we don't know what they do with Tari Eason. If anybody else is on there, we wouldn't see it coming. For the Pistons, doubtful tag on Karis LeVert, Q tag Cade Cunningham, everybody else available. I can tell you this much. The only way that the Pistons are 3.5 point favorites in this game is if Cade Cunningham is in, and we might get something out for Houston. But there's no chance that this line could exist if Cade is out. Similarly, 217 total. This is a terrible DFS game. Obviously, Rockets lean defense. The Pistons are all defense. This will not be a DFS game that you want a lot of, barring news. Because one, you're locking in everything before a 7:30 swap and an 8 o'clock swap. And two, it's just not that kind of game. Now, we'll talk about it. Some things can look good. Phoenix and Atlanta. Atlanta 3.5 point dogs at home. Nobody on the injury report for the Suns. Nobody on the injury report for the Hawks that we don't expect. Porzingis still out. Risa Shea still out. For Boston and Brooklyn, that's where we get into a little bit of weird stuff. Einsteinium, I just saw this. Should Philly be the favorite in the East? No, not even close. For Boston, you don't see it on the screen right now, which is odd to me because Boston has submitted an injury report. Derek White's not playing today. So it's funny that it's not there yet. I assume we'll get it in the next hour or so. But we're not going to have Derek White today. And it should not be surprising to hear that that is important for a day like today. We don't typically get him out. But he has been listed as out today. Justin Turpin dropped that news. He's a beat guy for WEEI. So we're not going to have Derek White. He's out for rest today, even though it's not shown yet. I mean, I guess realistically, you're only out for rest until you're not. But no Derek White moves a lot of stuff around on the Boston side. For Brooklyn, it appears they're going to have everybody they typically have. But obviously, taking out 30-something minutes of real usage and ball handling for Boston will change things up quite a bit. The other 7:30 game, the Sacramento Kings are 11.5 point dogs in Cleveland, 233 total. For the Kings, still no Keegan Murray, otherwise nothing interesting. For the Cavs, still no Darius Garland and Sam Merrill, otherwise nothing interesting. So far, from a news perspective, we're only waiting on Rockets' actual injury report and a status on Cade Cunningham that seems abundantly clear that he's playing. We then have 2 8 o'clock games, which will become a bit problematic. New Orleans Pelicans, 5.5 point underdogs in Memphis, 237 total in this one. That is the highest total on today's slate. So, Herb Jones, questionable. We've been down this road for the past couple games. He's missed like their last 8 and 15 to 16 or something like that. We'll see if we get Herb Jones back today. Alvarado still out for Memphis. No Ja Morant for today. No Santi Aldama either. Lots going on in Memphis that we're certainly going to have to touch on. And then the final game of the main slate, 8 p.m. start, 15.5 point underdog, Indiana Pacers with a Q tag on Quentin Jackson. Still no Benedict Mathurin. Pacers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the Thunder, we want to pay attention to today. No A.J. Mitchell. No Alex Caruso. No Isaiah Hartenstein. No J-Dub. Aaron Wiggins, questionable. Jalen Williams with a Y, questionable. And those two dudes have been in and out lately. Lots of stuff up in the air for OKC today. And that's a really good thing to have happen when you're the home team and you face the Pacers. We're going to find some value here today. The biggest and most important thing that we're waiting on, they all happen at 8 o'clock as of right now. How we break that down will be very interesting. All right, our boy Jorge in the house with the super chat said another recognition. You said Embiid, played him in the mini-max and got 7th. Thanks. Attaboy. Attaboy. I'm going to assume that lineup also didn't have Chris Middleton. So appreciate good work sifting through that. Anthony Hunt, I appreciate the super chat. There couldn't be worse timing for a question like this. Porter Jr., Jaylen Brown, or Siakam? No idea. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. All three. They're the same thing. Not the answer I think you're looking for, but has to be the real answer. All of them. All of them. A question without an answer, unfortunately. Don't think about DFS like this in any way ever again. Throw it in the garbage. Don't think about 1v1 v1s at 9 a.m. Siakam's 4% owned. Jaylen Brown is 17% owned. Michael Porter Jr. is 15% owned. Jaylen Brown is $1,800 more expensive than Michael Porter Jr. and $1,600 more expensive than Pascal Siakam. That's a question without an answer. Sorry, Anthony. That's a live before lock at best question. But when it comes to 3 pay-ups, the answer is all of them, all the time. I could load my lineups right now and have 50% of any one of those 3 guys and still build a good portfolio. Here's the most important thing I want everybody to understand coming out of this show and moving forward. However you feel about one individual guy couldn't be more meaningless. You can do whatever you want and build a similar portfolio to something else with the exact opposite take. If you want to have 40% Jaylen Brown today, you can do that and build a high-end portfolio. If you want to have 0% Jaylen Brown today, you can do that and have a high-end portfolio. I don't think about individuals in any way. But like if I run my stuff and see Alperen Şengün is unowned, maybe I want him to be in 15% of my lineups because that's just a number I picked. I can do that and still get the exact same portfolio just redistributed. Like there's 6 games today. There's essentially an infinite amount of ways that you can build a portfolio or a single lineup. There's basically a never-ending supply of ways that you can be unique and build lineups out for today. Don't stress about stuff like that question. The makeup of the entire lineup is like 1 billion times more important than picking an individual dude. Appreciate you, Anthony Hunt. Ken wants me to say thanks for the super chat. I'm pretty sure I did right out of the gate, but I will not let that go. Thank you for the super chat, both Anthony and Jorge. Coach Chris, nothing's coming. Well, it depends where you're at in North Carolina. The snowstorm has moved north by quite a bit, so northwest and west parts of North Carolina, probably not so great. But it has tapered off over the past few days. Yeah. I mean, realistically, Chris, it was supposed to be so much worse for Raleigh 2-3 days ago. The reason that I know this is that I was supposed to be going to the Raleigh area this weekend, and that got canceled. Wife had a banquet to go to, but that got postponed because of the weather. But it seems like we probably could have went to that without any issue now. That like Virginia, like the DMV upwards of like southern Pennsylvania seems like it's going to be unfun. Shout out Aton. Shout out Laffy. I'm going to get like a half inch of winter mix. I'll never even notice it. I'm going to watch some movies, smoke some joints, and stay inside while it's cold. Boston's going to get 2 feet. Ugh. Josh, have you stocked up on your PB&Js, tuna, and chicken salads? You might lose power. I've never eaten tuna salad in my life. I've never eaten chicken salad in my life. I do not anticipate eating any of those things anytime soon. And I'm not a PB&J guy. Never ate them as a kid. In my mind, if we even include like Uncrustables, I've had 5 or less peanut butter and jellies in my life. Never been a PB&J dude. Now, I can't do peanut butter anymore unless it's like aggressively cooked or it's like barely peanut butter. Like I could do a Reese's peanut butter cup, but I couldn't make like a peanut butter and jelly with peanut butter. I had to switch to like cashew butter or sunflower butter. Can't do nuts. No pause. Just can't do it. I've never been a PB&J guy. I was a fluffernutter dude. It was the good old days. So I was peanut butter and marshmallow. Yes, cooked peanut butter. So like baked, I guess is probably like the better way to say it. Processed more in some way. There's something in it. It's the same way for fruit for me. I can't eat an apple, but I can eat an apple pie. There's something about like the protein structure getting denatured with heat. Or like extreme cold, I'm guessing too. I don't know. Peanut butter soup? Try it. Yeah. Aquarius season. Yeah, it is. Is it Aquarius? Is today the first day of Aquariusness? That's not how you spell it, but whatever. January. Oh, now we're into it already. There we go. Birthday coming up soon. What day of the week is my birthday? Hopefully it's a day I could take off. Last year was the first day of All-Star break, which was nice. My birthday is a Thursday. Yuck. When does the All-Star break start? I keep forgetting this. All right. My birthday's the last day of the NBA schedule before the break. Oh, no, I guess second? Hold on. Are there 3 NBA games? What is this? What is happening in the NBA on February 13th? Is that like all the random games? Oh, the All-Star game. Okay, that's just All-Star bullshit. The NBA HBCU Classic. Got it. Okay. So cool. Last day before the All-Star break is my birthday. I'm going to try to take that shit off. And then we get like a week off. Not that I'm going to have off, but good to know. Good to know. All right, let's talk about the slate for a bit. I've got some of my data pulled up. We've got everything up on the site right now. So let's touch on every individual game, talk about what that could actually look like for today. First one up is Houston and Detroit. Now, for this one, obviously the Houston injury report and the Cade news will dictate everything. But just on the surface, happy to get to Cade in this spot if you have to. But, 10-2 against the Rockets in the first game is not like my favorite thing in the world, but pay-ups are pay-ups on a day like today. There's probably a case to be made that Şengün is easier to deal with, given the power forward center and the savings. And then after that, I don't think there's anybody individually that stands out in this game, especially because of the total. But Duren, Jabari, Durant, Tobias, probably Amen Thompson is like the pack of dudes that you'd pay attention to. Anything after that is we're getting into like last man in territory. Let me do perfect. It's going to feel weird to get to Cade today. Just from a pay up to be contrarian option, a situation where there's no like created value for Detroit, coming back after missing his last game. Not that that matters all that much for somebody like Cade. Little nervous, but I think we're going to have more than enough salary to get to something like this. The most important thing I think will be just paying attention to what that ownership looks like. But this game environment is problematic. My eye is probably on Şengün more than it's on Cade. And then obviously, this should go without saying. If Cade ends up out, that completely changes the scope of what the Pistons are. I don't think Amen Thompson closed. Let's take a look at that, Ken. Let's find out here. PvP stats not exactly cruising this morning. Josh, is Embiid back? No discourse on how well he's been playing. I mean, he was never not back. Like, Joel Embiid is either going to be one of two things. Healthy enough to play and really good, or not out all that healthy and like toughing through it. I just think he's healthier now. So then he just goes back to being exactly what we know. It's not like the problem with Joel Embiid has ever been on-court play. He's just never healthy. But anytime he's healthy, he's fucking dope. He's just as likely to like never play again after today. Ken, Amen Thompson did in fact close yesterday. He played 36 minutes in regulation. No, 37 minutes in regulation. He played the final 58 seconds. He staggered pretty aggressively in the third and fourth. So it took a sec. But yeah, he was out there. Ooh, check out this new little fun thing I dropped on for yesterday. Watch this one. So I wonder what Alperen Şengün and Kevin Durant did while they were on the court together. Well, they shared the court for 33 minutes and 6 seconds. They were minus 16 when they were on the floor together. When they were on the floor together, they shared it with 29 and a half minutes of Jabari Smith, 23 and a half minutes of Thompson, 18 minutes of Eason, 18 minutes of Okogie, just 3 minutes of Dorian Finney-Smith with Durant and Şengün on the floor together. You even get 32 and a half minutes from Embiid when both guys were on the floor. Tracks every one of their periods together, slowly but surely, blowing popcorn machine out of the water. Gotta love it. The Thompson twins are overrated. No. Very much no. Steven, I really do, honestly. It just makes my life so much easier to, like, do this kind of stuff. So I prefer it. All right, game 2. Phoenix, Atlanta. And for the most part, we know what's going on here. The band, the Thompson Twins, was overrated? No way. For your love, jump in. That's the track for that's what Love Actually Hugh Grant dances to, right? Am I right? Or am I thinking about like 70s Gap Band type stuff? Yeah, I'm right. Right? Oh, it's the Pointer Sisters, not the Thompson Twins. Shit. I thought I was right. Now I got it. Hold me now. Oh, that's all I know. I mean, I could like mumble through it. I got it. We're back in it. Suns Hawks. Very tough game for me. You'll see here that I have Mark Williams as my preferred option. Barely in this game ahead of Dyson Daniels. I don't think that'll be a popular opinion. I don't trust Mark Williams in any way. But this dude is just as likely to play 20 minutes as he is to play 30. I got him in for 24. If today is one of those days where they just have him out there, he's great. If it's one of those days where he plays 20 minutes and they go to Oso Ighodaro, he's not. But in terms of GPPs today, I will be paying closer attention to Mark Williams. Dude, this Thompson Twins basketball discourse is really tough to read. I prefer Jalen Johnson to Cade from a logic perspective. Whether or not it breaks that way, I don't know. Okongwu feels solid in this spot. You know, you can get to Devin Booker, but he's basically never a priority, especially now with like Grayson Allen back with, Grayson Allen in, Jalen Green back. Less options to me, oddly enough, in Atlanta and Phoenix than there are in Detroit and Houston. I find Atlanta and Phoenix to be a real difficult game. I have very little trust in pretty much all of these dudes, save for Jalen Johnson. Now let's talk through Boston and Brooklyn. Assuming I'm correct, and at some point in time in the next hour, we get the official Derek White out for rest news. It should come as no surprise that Peyton Pritchard looks a lot better. Jaylen Brown just kind of continues to be himself. There's only so much more you can take on as Jaylen Brown. Like, it's not like he could become a 50% usage guy. So while Jaylen Brown is incrementally better, there are other guys that could look a little bit better. The first of which to me is Baylor Shireman. 3,300, shooting guard, small forward eligible. Not a great per minute dude, but from a value and efficiency from a value standpoint, we're going to have a hard time finding better options, assuming he gets the start. James, he is not already confirmed out, but I agree that he's already confirmed out. I assume you get that in an injury report in the next 90 minutes. James, you watch this show a lot. What am I going to tell you when you say Roto has him out? You know the answer to this already. There's another one. DK has him out. Incredible. I teach no lessons, apparently. None whatsoever. So I think Shireman is the guy that takes the biggest leap. The three names that I think are going to be most interesting now will be Jordan Walsh, Sam Hauser, and Anthony Simons. They're all going to be way more interesting than they typically would because we're freeing up 30 plus minutes and real usage. But ultimately, any one of them can be the guy that breaks free. I think that area will create some sort of leverage one way or the other, whether it's being light on one of those dudes or being heavy on one of those dudes. That those three are guys that I have my eye on. But Pritchard, to me, gets the biggest leap, and Baylor Shireman gets the biggest benefit of having to soak up all of these minutes. Tough to not love Boston here. Everybody get your troll on. Hey, Josh, what are the injury report times? Every 15 minutes, 24/7. Realistically, there are like specific timings based on when you play and when you have to have your first injury report in. So like 7 o'clock games are going to be either 10 or 11. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Not something that I retain because like it's 10 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, they drop every 15 minutes, 24/7. And while we were given the news about Derek White, he is not technically on the injury report yet. But he's already out of all projections. I guess I got to pull this up now. Asar Thompson via EPM as the fourth highest defensive EPM of anybody in the league. Now, I need everybody to understand what this data means because I know that somebody is about to type this nonsense into chat before I say it. Do not just look at these numbers and think, I can't use this because Asar Thompson is not better than Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama listed here at plus 2.7 defensive EPM. Asar Thompson listed at 3. These are not comparative numbers. Not the same thing. You can't look at that and think this says Asar Thompson is better than Victor Wembanyama in this way. That's not what that data means. What it does mean is that for a wing, he's as good as it gets. And that should not be all that surprising. Speaking of other dudes that are exceptional, Amin Thompson, 19th in defensive EPM. We're talking about two of the top 10 defenders in the league. Because I'll be honest with you, we're not looping in Paul Reed into this discussion or Jonathan Isaac or Javonte Green in this case. Matisse Thybulle could be if he's played more than 5 games this year. These guys are top 10 defensive guys. Now, if we want to talk about Asar offensively, not ideal, but we're talking about a guy that is a well above average overall player. Amen Thompson is just exceptional everywhere. A well above average on both sides of the ball guy. These guys are awesome. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Amen Thompson is 28th in EPM overall. What are we doing? What are we doing? By the way, I guess one other major piece of this entire discussion that everybody seems to be like really rude about, they're 22 years old. Now, they'll be 23 in 7 days, but the point still stands. These are well above average NBA players that are 23. Fucking what more do you want? Craziness. So back to Boston, the takeaway here for everyone should be play Baylor Shireman, play Peyton Pritchard, play Jaylen Brown. On the Nets side, MPJ or nobody as far as I'm concerned. Yes, you can play Clowney. You can play Cam Thomas a little bit. You could roll dice on Zaire Williams or Nick Claxton. I would rather either have Michael Porter Jr. or nothing at all. I wish Amen Thompson could shoot a 3. He'd be complete. Well, yeah. That's a weird discourse. And like, this isn't to you, Ken, but I don't know when that came up and became like a thing. Like, because we did the same thing with Giannis for like years and years about him shooting. There was never a time in our entire lives where we looked at Shaq and thought like, oh, Shaq sucks. He can't shoot threes. Like, yeah, of course that would be great, but that's just not what he is. Would I like Amen Thompson to be a knockdown 3-point shooter? Yeah, he'd also be an inner circle Hall of Famer. As of right now, he's still one of the 20 best dudes in the league. Like, Giannis was never supposed to shoot well because he's a 7-foot tall marble statue. Yeah, like, we got to stop thinking that not having the extra 10% invalidates the other 90. Like, it didn't matter that Russell Westbrook couldn't shoot threes when he was 27 years old. Matters a lot more at 35. But that, just take the good stuff. Just take the good stuff. All right, Sacramento and Cleveland is a real tough one today. You're going to be very, very, very focused on the Cleveland side, if anything. Again, no Garland, no Sam Merrill, $9,700 Donovan Mitchell playing much bigger minutes lately in a matchup against the Kings. Donovan Mitchell is going to give these guys the business. You just hope that he's out there for enough minutes to do it. I think Jared Allen looks fine at 6,500. Evan Mobley's like not the best price tag in the world at 8,700, but good enough flexibility to still want to get there. Tough to want to go to like Wade or Tyson or Hunter. I'd lean Tyson out of anything there. Westbrook is the highest ranked guy I have for the Kings, but not necessarily a priority to me. I love Donovan Mitchell today. Anytime you can get somebody going up against the Kings defense, you should want to do it. I think it's even better now that Sabonis is back. That makes them worse, not better for a DFS matchup. Like, obviously, it improves the Kings as a team, but I'd rather have their offense be better and their defense be worse. So there's that. Should be interesting which team takes on Sabonis. There's no market for Domantas Sabonis. No team's taking on Domantas Sabonis. There's no market. Not for like an asset. Why would anybody take Domantas Sabonis if you could take like AD? That's a real question too. But I'm going to stay pretty far away from the Sacramento Kings today. And I anticipate being well north of the field on Donovan Mitchell as I see it right now. Sabonis not good anymore. What kind of answer do you want? In terms of like being good to win, he's never been that guy. As a regular season player, yeah. Sabonis is great if you're a 20-win team and you want to be like a 33-win team. But, no, I mean, like, he's going to look a lot like the inverse of Roy Hibbert in the next couple of years. He's like the evolutionary Joval. He's going to come in and play like 18 minutes as a backup center in 4 years and just like fuck up second units every once in a while. But he can't defend. Look, if Anthony Davis got traded to a team that was in the playoff race right now, I think we'd see Anthony Davis a little bit faster than you would expect. Sabonis is the Harden of Big Ben. Not even close. Now, that you are dramatically underselling James Harden. Has James Harden laid countless eggs in real playoff games? Yes. He's also fully taken over countless playoff games. They're not comparable. Not comparable. Who would be a better example than Harden? I mean, Sabonis is like the Trae Young of big men. That's a better comp. Small guard. He's the small scoring guard of big men. Pels Grizzlies is going to be a bit of a problem today. So no Ja Morant. And that is opening up all of the value. Cam Spencer, 5,700, point guard, shooting guard. At the moment, my number one dude on the day. Minutes are there. Again, no Ja, no Aldama. I'm getting a ton of value out of a $5,500 Jock Landale. I'm getting a ton of value out of a $5,400 Cedric Coward. I think Triple J at 7,400 in a matchup against the Pels stands out in a massive way. The Pelican side's terrifying. To a degree, I want Herb Jones to be out. I think I'll have a little bit better of a time rolling dice on like Fears or Zion or Queen. Keep in mind, Fears and Queen have been not ideal lately. The Pelican side of this one is an absolute mess. I do lean towards Zion, but the Grizzlies, this is going to be a lot of exposure. Spencer, Landale, Coward, Jackson, and then it starts getting, do you want to roll dice on Jalen Wells or Vince Williams? I think that's fine. But we're getting a Grizzlies team today in an exceptional matchup against the Pelicans, but also missing two of their top 6 rotation guys. That is creating the value we want, not to mention 8 o'clock start. You want as much of this game as possible so you could swap it at 7:30 and then before this game actually starts. On the Pels side, though, it's an absolute mess. It all starts with that Herb Jones news. If you want to go to Trey Murphy playing 36 minutes a night, I will never say no to it. If Herb Jones is in, though, I don't know how you do the like Bay, Misi, Poole, PV stuff. You need Herb Jones to be out to feel a little bit better about going to this Pelicans stuff. Now, before I hit the final game I want to make sure I let you guys know what the schedule is for the rest of the day. Give me 1 second here. I just realized I got something for you boys and girls. Now, this is going to end up being in the wrong spot, but whatever. So I'm on the strategy show. Obviously, you guys are aware of that. NFL strategy show coming up next. You get Laffy, you get Greg. They are setting you up for the weekend that is the NFL playoffs. NHL strategy show coming up at 1:30. I will be back at 5 o'clock for the deeper dive with DK. And then Greg and Spags will round this one out for live before lock. But we also have one important thing happening this weekend. UFC is back. And as you can see on the screen, we are running a promo, folks. The promo code is 324. Those are numbers. 324 is the promo code. That is the upcoming UFC event. You can get 30% off any MMA DFS package at Stokastic if you use that code. It's simple. Just head to stokastic.com to sign up or click the link in the description. Enter that code while you do. You will get 30% off. UFC's been on ice for like the past couple weeks. They tend to do that at the end of the year. Now we're back. Monster card. Great fights this weekend. Was supposed to be a little bit better. Isn't now, but that's okay. We do have a bunch of really nice fights this weekend. And this is the start of it. UFC's going nowhere. Cards every week. And cheaper to watch those cards now. These are all on Paramount. You don't have to pay $60 for a pay-per-view. So if you guys want to get into this, MMA DFS is fun as hell. Just, 10, 11, 12, 13 fights, all binary outcomes. You're trying to get 6 winners. If you've never messed around with MMA DFS before, we've got projections, ownership, and sims. So come check it all out. Final game of the night, Pacers, Thunder. And we got a lot to wait on here because of the current injury status for the Oklahoma City Thunder, because they are missing multiple bodies and they're about to be missing even more if this breaks the right way today. As we look at it, shit, I accidentally clicked on Brooks Barnheiser. That's going to pop up. Yep, there it is. AJ Mitchell already out, Alex Caruso out, Hartenstein out, J-Dub out. Q-tag Jalen Williams with a Y, Q-tag Aaron Wiggins. So on the off chance that Wiggins and Jalen Williams with a Y are out, they only have 10 guys. Right now we've got 12 total. They could have as low as 10. There's a shit ton of minutes to go around for these guys right now. And as I see it, there's a ton of value. We just don't know where it's going yet. Jalen Williams with a Y could look a lot more interesting at 3,700 center only after we get this Q tag. I think $3,900 Kenrich Williams looks great with power forward center eligibility because they face the Pacers. The Pacers are awful. I will happily pay $10,700 for SGA in this spot. He's going to do everything on offense. Also, think about what this game is and what it was when it was game 7. These are not even close to the same teams today. Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith on the Pacers side both look very fine. So does Siakam. If you're going to go to something from the Pacers, go to the good dudes. But there's going to be value in Aaron Wiggins if he plays at 4,700. Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort. I want to get to any of those 8 dudes for OKC. Kenrich, SGA, Wiggins, Jalen Williams with a Y, Cason Wallace, Joe, Holmgren, Dort. All very much in play. I'd like to have as much as I possibly could heading into lock, and then I'll figure it out afterwards. Now, if we lose Aaron Wiggins and Jalen Williams with a Y, we start having conversations about Brandon Carlson, Barnheiser, Ousmane Dieng. They are not on the table right now, but they could be. These 8 o'clock games are going to save the day for this slate. And guys, don't forget, download Tails, I'm constantly posting prize picks cards and other stuff to Tails. You can get it for free. Costs you nothing to follow anybody there. That link is in the description. If you're not an MMA guy, but you are a DFS guy, click the link in the description and sign up through one of our partners, either a sportsbook or a pick'em site. You do that, you get a month of Sims for free, and you can sign up at a couple partners and get a couple months if you want to. That is where we're at for today. 9:52, we put a hell of a shift in for the NBA. I've got nothing left here, folks. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the golf, enjoy the MMA, enjoy the NBA, enjoy the NFL playoffs. Should be a really fun weekend. For those of you about to get the aggressive weather, be safe, be prepared, don't do anything crazy. Worst case scenario, batten down the hatches and wait till that bad boy melts. But enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thank you for being here. Another one in the books. Good luck, everybody.